Okay, so some of you know this already. Some of you may not. But when you get a water, you go to the store, especially here in Mexico, you go to the store, you get a water, it's like maybe $1. And I realize if you come here to Starbucks and get a water, it's like $4. And if you go to the club and get a water, like a party, a true club, it's around like $8.95. And in some of the nice restaurants, about $11. But the water's the same. Have you ever noticed that? The water's the same. So then I asked, well, what changes? What has changed? It's the environment. The environment has changed. And because the environment has changed, what is actually people are seeing has changed as well in their minds. Like I remember I lived in Barcelona for a while, or 5 years, not a while. I was there, and we go out and party, and it literally is like some of the cheapest clubs, like $180 for a bottle of something, let's say that. Outside is like $6. And I just think about that. Once again, the environment has changed. And some of you, the problem is not what you are. The problem is where you are, what you are. Yeah, we're gonna jump. We're diving into this today. If you don't know me, my name is Luke Fitzgerald. I was 12-year pro athlete, pro basketball player overseas, and now last 4 years I've just been traveling around and wanting to impact your life. Everyone feels the impact in a different way, but in this video I hope that it impacts you in a way that you realize that it's not about your worth. Because I've realized now, make a separate talk about it. It's not the perception that you have, it's the awareness you have. It's the awareness. It's the awareness that changes everything. The awareness that actually who I am, I can get paid for that. Maybe in the future, I'm not sure. Why did they cut the fans on? It's so cold. Maybe in the future I'll have some kind of course or program talking about getting paid to be you. I think it's one of the most weirdest things, especially if you really love doing something. And if you weren't doing it for money, you would just do it just to do it. And then you meet people who pay you to do it. So weird, it's very different energy. And the thought that comes to my mind is that if you just change your environment, you ever wonder why I travel so much? How I've been able to travel so much? Because everywhere I went, I get a new awareness of how other people are, of how I am. Some of you are in the same place. You're still in that tiny town trying to sell your water for $20. P.S. You are the water. For $20. And I mean it in like an ethical way. Like you're trying to sell your service or your skills. More importantly, you're trying to talk to people. You're around people who sell water at 20 cents a bottle. So of course they think it's crazy that you're going to sell it for $20. Go to Paris, go to Berlin, go to the parties on the beach in Barcelona, go to Malta, go to Ibiza, go to Dubai, go to any of these places, and you'll see, oh yeah, there's people who pay $25 for a bottle of water. Yes, there is. I want to say, I was talking to someone the other day. I was like, I remember one place you actually did pay around $8 for water, and then you paid an extra $4 to have them delivered to your room. Like, your value is there. You're either in the wrong environment, you're speaking to the wrong environment. There's something going on. There's something going on. And I say that because I don't only mean that from like who you are. Actually, hey, you guys already know. We got to check to make sure we are recording. We've had a couple mishaps, so let's just say that. But some of you guys, you just need to change your environment. Now, we live in a world now where maybe changing your environment means you just speak to a different group of people on the internet, or you use a different platform, or you do something, but you do something a little bit different. And as you start to do that, you'll realize that, wow, there's actually nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with what I had. All that was wrong was with who I was offering it to. You know, and anyone who's had any kind of program, if you're in coaching, if you want to be a coach and you had a program and you found that you just changed the name, or you started working with a different group of people, what you had before that no one wanted, now it goes perfectly hand in hand with what you have now, and people actually pay you for it. It's phenomenal how that works. You know, for me, I'm realizing it slowly with YouTube. Like, I love my long form content. I love talking and sharing and leaving information that really can impact and change someone's life. The emails, the messages, the comments mean so much more with these kind of videos than just travel videos. And I realized as I've migrated a little bit more of my energy to other platforms, then I've realized, like, wow, like, I'm saying the same thing I was saying here, but on that platform, people don't really seem to pay an interest to it, and they don't really watch it so much. But here, everyone's watching it. You know, and it makes me just think, and it makes me just wonder, like, how big of a difference does the environment make? Like, what happens if you take a lion who's king of the jungle and you put the lion into the Arctic? Put the lion into a big city. What's he going to eat? Where's he going to go? Now the lion can believe that something's wrong with him. The lion's like, what's wrong with me? Nothing. It's the environment. Why are lions in the wild different than lions in the zoo? Like, can an environment make that big of a difference? And the more I travel, the more I realize, the more I learn, the more I'm like, it's enormous, the difference that it makes. You know, when you hang around, like, hotels is a great example. I'm not sure if I made a video, I know I made the video, I don't know if I released it, of why I stopped kind of staying in hostels, even though it cost a tenth of some of the places that I stay now. And I thought about it, and I was like, well, the conversations are different. You know, I lived in Paris I spent a lot of time in Paris, and I used to go to this hotel. It's right next to the Place de Bastille. It's right at the beginning of the Champs-Élysées, right next to the American Embassy. Right next to it is a hotel, and the cheapest room in that hotel is around $1,800 a night. Cheapest room. But I go in there because I'm like, let me just have a coffee. And let me kid you not, the coffee is like $17. Okay? Like, it was like 15 euros for a coffee. The croissant, 9 euros. Okay? But here's the thing. You ready for this? The conversations, completely different. If you overhear what people are talking about, completely different. Completely different. Completely. And I realized, well, how valuable are those conversations? Anyone who's lived in Bali, you already know. The conversations that you can have with some people in Bali are life-changing. You know, a lot of times you're sitting around with a lot of fake entrepreneurs. And at the same time, you're sitting around people who make millions of dollars. Conversations are very different. Energy is very different. So I had to make this long video short. I would say your environment matters. The people you choose to spend time with, you already know that matters. But truly your environment. Hating where you are and doing what you love is different than loving where you are and doing what you love. And yes, I truly believe it's possible to feel that anywhere, but some of you guys will be completely amazed if you made a radical change in your environment. It doesn't even have to be moving to a new place or moving to a new city or a new country. It can be as simple as something I used to do all the time, moving around your furniture. That's your assignment. Move something around out of the norm and see how that makes you feel. That's what I want you to do. Because the difference between a 50-cent bottle of water and a $30 bottle of water is all about where that water is. And in the words of Bruce Lee, be water, my friends. Be blessed by the best.